We are live.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. What a pleasurable Saturday morning for me, particularly. But before I talk about that, a very warm welcome to everyone to another episode of Dekho Apna Desh, the 172nd episode. So we've come a long, long way in Dekho Apna Desh. And before the start of this session, we were discussing amongst ourselves that the journey that started on 14th of April 2020 amidst COVID has come such a long way that today, on the 18th of February 2023, we are still carrying on, and there seems to be just a tip of the iceberg story as far as Incredible India is concerned. So that's what Incredible India is all about. You do 172 episodes and you still say, oh, that's it? We've done nothing yet. So, therefore, friends, welcome back to this amazing story that we are telling you of Incredible India. But what are we doing here? The story is actually being brought to you by incredible Indians. And that is the most beautiful part of the journey of this series of episodes that we bring to you live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And behind making sure that we are here on the 102nd episode, apart from so many other people that I can't mention over here, but I do want to mention some people who you can see on screen. Mr. R.K. Suman, who has been handling the domestic tourism vertical amazingly well. Motoshi, she's been doing an amazing work. And I said, I'm not mentioning everyone. So if I forget anyone's name, please don't take it otherwise. It's just because the list is so long. Dr. Ajay Singh from Varanasi, he is not only a guide, but he also is the president of their association and also a force to reckon with when it comes to telling history of that area. Any GD that has been our partner throughout, they're also working on making a portal for us. And today, very special person that we have bringing a story of incredible India to you is Yadbir Singh Rawat. Namaskar, Yadbir ji, and welcome
Namaskar,
to
namaskar.
Bangladesh. And what an interesting topic to talk about. Buddhist monastery of Vadnagar. Most of us, when we were growing up in India, we used to connect the story of Buddhism with only a few spots in India. And you thought Bodh Gaya, you thought a little bit of Sanchi, Sarnath. Did you ever think that Vadnagar also had a Buddhist history? Well, today, Yadubir, with all his knowledge that he has from his time with the Archaeological Survey of India, and after that, his passion of just discovering the different elements that our beautiful land has had, and how the philosophies of all the four major religions that actually grew from this land of ours, how they are so weaved into each other, how they became a little different from each other, but derive so much and weave into our lives on a daily basis. That's the story from Vadnagar today about Buddhism and how the traces are being found now. Also, let me use this opportunity to wish all of you, because this is also another very special day for all of us in India and all over the world. It's the day of Mahashivratri. So many wishes and namaskar and pranam to the Lord, to the force, to Lord Shiva, because of whom we are here and we are live today. And that's the energy that keeps us together. So, our prayers to Lord Shiva, and a very special day, therefore, for all of us in India. Yadvir, the screen is all yours. I can go on talking, friends, for a long, long time, but then I have to bring Yadvir here. And please keep posting your questions and keep putting your responses. We will try and answer them as we go along. Namaskar from me and Yadvir. The screen is entirely all yours.
Thank you, ma'am, for the nice word. And I must thank Dekho Apna Desh, its the host, co-host, and all the speakers. And today I am going to talk about the Vadnagar that is in North Gujarat, very close to Gandhinagar. And this is actually one of the place which is actually has given lot of intellectual to the Gujarati in the Gujarat actually society and outside of the Gujarat. They played the major role. And now this site, the Barnagar, actually has also produced the Buddhist monastery, which were actually known by the writing of the Wen Sang. And now I am going to present what we have found at Vadnagar and surrounding area. Thank you very much again. This is actually Vadnagar in the this area, northeast corner of the Gujarat, and this is 1.5 hour journey from Ahmedabad, and it is in Mehsana district. This in anciently this was the region which was known as Anarth. Anarth occurred first time in the inscription of Rudradaman, which is dated 150 AD. And before that, we have got our Mahabharata, Purana, and Agam literature. There are a lot of reference about the Anarth, Anardesh, and Anarpur. And this site, this location, today it is not on the highway, but once actually in the early historical period, it seems to be actually on the crossroad of the two major highway. One actually both connecting the one connecting Malwa and Sindh, and another Bharuch, Saurashtra coast of Gujarat and the North India. That's why Vadnagar was a hinterland port. And traditionally, it is known as Asthal Pattan. That was a hinterland port, which was actually facilitating the port of the coast of the Gujarat. Anarth is a country in the Western India. This is actually mentioned in Mahabharata and so many scripture. That Mahabharata we have got a lot of references. Adi Parv, Van Parv, Salya Parv, Bhishma Parv. Then Purana, Bhagavad, Matsya, Iskand, and Harivans. And there is a separate chapter on the Nagar Khand where Vadnagar falls, because Vadnagar is considered to be the origin place of the Nagar Brahmins, Nagara. And Vadnagar, one of the name of Vadnagar is Nagar. There are inscription, this first time actually Junagadh inscription I just told you of the Rudradaman. And then Anarpur occur in Maitraka inscription. Maitraka ruled Gujarat around 5th century CE to 8th century CE. But there are actually Anarpur and Anandpur. Both words are used, names are used in their inscription. But Anarpur stopped occurring after 648 CE. That means there is a tradition which was taken over by the Anandpur, that is the Vadnagar. And it continued, but Anarth mentioned the name Anarth continued till 9th century. There is one inscription in Gwalior of the Pratihar Mihir Bhoj, which talk about the defeat of the Giridurga of Anarth by his grandfather Nagbhat. And then Vadnagar has different names in different centuries as per local tradition as well as Puranic and Agama literature. Chamatkarpur, Anarpur, Anandpur, Iskandpur, Nagar, Bridnagar are some of the ancient names of the present Vadnagar. These are the actually remains which are still continuing or surviving in the town. This is the Toran, famous Toran of Vadnagar, which is one of the major symbol of Gujarat tourism and the Gujarat government also. And these are the actually eight. The Toran belongs to 11th century, and there are another sculpture panel which goes to 9th, early 10th century. And then you can see this is the mound of the Vadnagar, where actually the present town, the fortified town, is located. And there is a deposit from bottom to top, that is some 25-meter deposit available there. That is the archaeological site. And these are some of the remnant of the ancient glory of the Vadnagar. We have got a town with 6 gates, so many wealth of sculptures available here and there. In every nook and corner, you can find the archaeological material in Vadnagar. It is so rich in this material. And this is the town actually. This is the town. There are a lot of actually religious structure of every community. And this is the lifeline of Vadnagar, Sarmishta Talav, this one. And the city was actually laid accordingly. The meandering bank of the tank, this could have been a river originally, a small rivulet, which was actually followed by the builder of the Vadnagar, and they built a fortification. And then there are actually the outside the fortification, we have got the Torana, and this is the Hatkeshwar Mahadev of Vadnagar, which is actually the family deity of Nagar community, and this is very much actually respected by the all community in the Barnagar and in Gujarat. And today is Sivrati, a big festival is organized there by Tourism Corporation of Gujarat also. And anciently, if you go and see the Barnagar, why actually this is a town which is continuing since last 2500 years without any break. It is a continuous journey of the town. The people who actually established there, their forefather, how they laid and they actually selected the site. That is very important, and reflect on the vision of the people who had knowledge of the topography, landscape, resources, water, and every what not else. They are actually continuing still village, and this seems to be actually the today the Sabarmati is in the east, and there is a small river Rupen in the west. And geologists have proved actually once Sabarmati was following in the bed of the present Rupen, that is actually left over bed of the Sabarmati originally, and then it shifted to east, and that created a large valley, a depression in between. And this fertile depression, because this is the millions of years ago, but this depression of the bank of this depression, they actually founded their village, a small settlement initially. And this is actually why they settled there. Taranga is a very one of the last southwestern spur of Aravalli, and Aravalli ends there. It is about 20 kilometers north of Barnagar, and rich source of copper, zinc, mica, a variety of rocks and other minerals from prehistoric time. Even Harappan also used the minerals or the material of the this Aravalli hill. And the Barnagar, as I told you, shifting of the river, it has got a rich soil cover with moisture retaining capacity, seems to be another major attraction of the ancient settler. Then initially we found iron smelting in early labels, suggest that it could have been a major center for iron products. It is a town in India which reveals an uninterrupted continuity of the settlement till today at the same site since its foundation around 4th 3rd century BCE. Then this is the town. It is a fortified town. You can see this is the fortification, and it has got 6 gates. There is one gate Arjun Bai at the northern side, which has got the 12th century inscription of the Kumarpal Solanki. Then there is a Nadiol gate here with the Hatkeshwar temple just outside it. And then there is Amthol gate, and then we have got the Ghaskol gate, Pithori gate, and the Amarthol gate in the east. These were actually gates which are existing from this 12th century CE. Before that, we have not excavated what was the actually architecture or position of the Valor gate. That is still required some research. But we hope it was actually at the same place because they need some slope to reach this much height. That's why they actually never shifted the gate from the this original site of the gate. That is then uh, today the Barnagar contour actually it is not 7 meter from the surrounding level. It is 7 to 25 meter at the top. So there is a Darbargarh area, the highest area, which is 25 meter from the surrounding ground level. And the 12th century inscription of this Kumbarpal records major repair work of fortification. Then Mirate Sikandari 18th century chronicles mentioned that there were 3,000 lakes, each having a temple during the Mughal period. These are the actually that seems to be some exaggeration, but there are so many. Still, there are some 36 major reservoir water bodies all around the Vadnagar, which actually provide the moisture and the water water to the local, and it shows actually how the ancient people were managing and harvesting the water. This is the historical background, as I told you, the Skanda Purana, and then there is Huen Sang, a famous Buddhist scholar who visited Anandpur in 7th century. He came here in 640-41 CE, and he records this country is about 2000 li in circuit. The capital about 12 li, 20 li. The population is dense, the establishment rich. There is no chief ruler, but it is an appanage of Malwa. The produce, climate, and literature and law are the same as those of Malwa. There are some 10 Sangharam, means monastery, with less than 1000 priest monk. They study the little vehicle, that is the Hinayan sect. There is the Mahayan and Hinayan. In Gujarat, most of the Buddhists of contemporary period, they were following the Hinayan. That's why in Gujarat we are getting very less sculpture, icons of Buddha, very few. And then it is called Sammati school. And then he mentioned there are several tens of Dev temples, and secretaries of the different kinds frequent them. It means it was actually a settlement of the different people following different religion, and then it was a cosmopolitan city of that time, you can call it. And there are copper plate, I told you there are so many copper plate. Then this is archaeologically it was actually in 1952 that red polished ware, which is a marker of the a new era in the Indian archaeology. Red polish, it comes with actually the Chhatrappa and the Kushana, and it is this pottery which is a marker and give us actually here this it belongs to a different set of people, different cultural element actually emerging at this point of or time. And this is mostly dated actually 2nd century to 6th 7th century. And in 1953, first excavation was done by MS University of Baroda. And then, but they excavated outside of the town. That's why the result were of the very limited nature, and they dated it actually uh, first century to 1000 CE. And then there was a chance discovery of Bodhisattva in 1992, which actually revealed that the record of Wensang is true, and there must be actually a monastery or Buddhist establishment in Vadnagar. Then in this connection, in 2005, actually the government, when the Sri Narendra Modi was Honorable CM of Gujarat, he took initiative because he belongs to the same town. He actually asked the department to if there is some Buddhist remain, because he was aware of the Wensang visit to Anandpur, and then Directorate of Archaeology conducted excavation in 2006 and continued up to 2012. And this is actually when excavation was done. So you can see this is a section actually showing this is actually about 20-meter deposit in the mid height of the mound, and you can see the wall going up. These wall indicate actually it continued till the today, because every generation was raising his house or her house on the same foundation which was actually left by their forefather. That this wall contains so many generations, not single. This belongs to the actually six hundreds of years, thousands of years. And this is the Vadnagar history. Actually, we have actually got the dating also, carbon dating, or at this level it is actually, you can see 75 BC, and then it is going up. The down below we have got the Maurya period, and this I have actually identified this not on the dynastic criteria, but on the nature of the building or the change taking place in the city, that is initial settlement of Maurya and pre-Mauryan period, because we don't know anything about the fortification system of that period, and not much about the settlement of that period. Only few antiquities of that period are available, and then there is a earthen rampart that is followed by a rampart around the town. This rampart are made of the earthen, the earth, and such. This is actually in around second century BCE from and first century BCE. We have got a lot of town in India like Vaishali, this Ujjain, even in Adam in Nagpur area, Kosambi, so many towns having this earthen rampart. It's the very wide the how this heap of earth around the town, and then actually uh, surrounded by a moat. These things are also found in the Barnagar also. And then we have got the third phase is actually this the actual the fort was built in the burnt brick, the baked brick, and this is the Chhatrapa period, and it continued till date. There are the different size of the brick, followed by the different dynasty, and those are the marker actually how it is change, the material is changing. And then we have got Mughal, Maratha, and British time, and the Persian Bardnagar seems to be the planning of the 19th century. And there, this is the Vensang I told you, but he actually gone to the Bardnagar Anandpur, that was known Antopulo, and then another site near Vadnagar was the Ochali. This is actually identified with the Vadli. Vadli is the just some 50 kilometer from Vadnagar, and Taranga. Taranga is 25 kilometer north of Vadnagar. And this actually we don't know what Anandpur. This Taranga is Anandpur or Anandpur, that also fall in that name uh, group. So that's why actually we have taken both of them one entity. This is the inscription which was this idol Bodhisattva image. This is the second century CE, and this was brought from Mathura. Actually, the style or the sandstone, the color, it is actually all was actually supplied from the Mathura to different part of the India, and this belonged to Mathura school of art. Now, there were two schools, one Gandhara and one Mathura, but Mathura was actually major source of the Buddhist monastery, the Bodhisattva images of this kind. And then there are two actually. This is the inscription on its pedestal. You can see two lines are there, and this was deciphered in 1992 by Professor Anand Mehta of the MS University, and he read it Sammatiya Bhikkuno Yodev Bodhisattva Tayo Chete Kutaye Acharen Mahasayakain Pariyaha. This is in bracket that he say the Acharya Mahasayak brought the Bodhisattva, the god of Sammatiya, for the Chaitya. That was the first reading, and we actually till recently we were believing it is the same thing, but that I will come to later. And you can see this is the Barnagar town, one part of the southern central part of the Barnagar town, having the street uh, east west. These are the east west, north south. It is almost a grid pattern from the very beginning, and this is the fort wall this side, and that is the east, and this is the near one of the gate. There is a fort. This is the Ghaskol area, and there we found this monastery. This is the partially excavated in 2007 or 8. You can see these are the cells coming up, this one, and these are going out under the ground here. So that was in 2008 we found the complete uh, monastery here. This is the actually final excavation of the monastery, and this is the actual here from here this to here. This is actual square. This is the square in on plan, and then it is provided a veranda. This one in front of it with a porch, and both side of this porch there are the staircases. One is there and another is there. With the initial monastery, there were the circular stupa. We have found two, one underneath this later stupa, and later on, they actually switched over to the square one. These stupa, these are actually diminishing square, one, two, and three, and similar here actually. And this actually because of the influence of Gandhar, because Vadnagar falls or the Gujarat falls midway from the Gandhar to Mathura. Uh, that's why we have got many element of Gandhar art in this region. There are sites like Devni Mori and others which yielded such and these remains, and that gives actually the both the trait of both the art school. And this is actually 14 meter by 14 meter, and then there are 9 cells all around a open courtyard, and in front of it there are two stupa. It has been actually uh, robbed by the later brick robbers, and only a small part of this monastery is this stupa is remaining. But whereas the second one uh, is available up to the top, and it actually gives you two phases of construction. This one. And another interesting thing is the RPW at Vadnagar start with the construction of this monastery. That is a firm indicator that it started around the beginning of the second century CE, this monastery, during the Chhatrapa period, and continued till 8th century of the end of the Maitrak period. This is the model actually we have reconstructed recently in the one seminar was there in Gandhinagar, and you can see this is the model. This is the veranda, this is the porch with flight of steps, and this is one stoop this side, another one. Now this is with the help of tourism corporation, the site is protected and there are display everything, and it is now open to public now, and these are the brick size which goes well with the Chhatra period. Then we were thinking why this monastery is within the fortification area, within the public area, the in the settlement, which is was actually forbidden in Buddhism. But well, actually, I doubt the first reading. Actually, there are two letters here. The first two letters are same, but how actually they read Sammati, that was a puzzle for me. Then I contacted Peter Skilling, one of the renowned authority on the Buddhist uh, knowledge and the epigraphy of the or the inscription of Buddhism. Then he actually agreed with me, and then he and this professor Oscar von Hunger, a German scholar, a renowned scholar, they actually gone through the inscription, and then they actually edited that one, and they found this is not a the monk, this is actually gift of a bodhisattva by the nun from Samasastama for her own chaitya or for her Mahasamika teacher. Actually this was a nunnery, this was the actually for meant for the nuns, the bhikkhuni sang, this was a bhikkhuni sang. Then we thought actually this monastery could be that Bhikkhuni monastery, because the the nuns or the bhikkhuni are allowed to reside in a settlement because of the security purpose. They were actually allowed even by the Buddha time. Then this is all the actually detail of the monastery, and this monastery is a very special for us actually. This actually reflects the type of recesses. This gives the architecture. This seems to be the floor of this, and underneath there is a cellar. There is a provision for a cellar for storage purposes, and then there were the wooden log here, wooden beam, and the plank over them. So that was serving as a floor during the when it was in use. Later on, they shifted to switched over to the brick floor. Actually, that wood is very difficult to actually preserve. Then this is the monastery plan you can see here, and then this elevation of the monastery. This is the open courtyard. These are the cells here, both side, and then this is the porch. This one, and very interestingly, this actually we came to know about the monastery. This is the swastik symbol seems to be the inspiration for the design concept. Such monastery are reported from the Madhya Pradesh also, in Vaisali also, and this is called actually swastik vihar. Why actually you just actually this is a square, you just go, the diagonals are cutting at the center of the open courtyard, you stand here, then you will feel actually you are in the center of a swastik, because these are the gullies, these are the gully actually, one gully going this way, another gully going this way, third is going this way, another going this. You stand here, you feel actually, you feel yourself actually you are in the mid of a swastik symbol, and that makes it very special, because the Buddha in Buddhist philosophy, it signifies that the swastika signifies the Buddha footprints. Actually Buddha footprints means this is the teaching, or here from here you learn the actually the teaching of Buddha. That kind of actually symbolism is there. And the swastik, as you know, is a very actually every religion, every religious philosophy, they accepted is a very holy symbol. And this is in our even the Veda, it is the energy, it gives is a symbol of energy, the sun, it represents the sun. So that kind of actually knowledge was there. The architect who actually built the monastery, he first actually thought of the footprints of the Buddha, which is a swastik, and you can see, you can make it perfect actually square by these measurement, and that is one very important thing we have actually uh, found out at this monastery. Then again, this is the actually it also give information about the different architecture development of the in the stupa architecture. We have got a simple wall diminishing square, but this indicate this particular this portion of the upper phase of this monastery indicate actually this is the phase which is belongs to 6th 7th century CE, and this is the time when the temple architecture was emerging. Actually the earliest temple in Gujarat or India, that Gop temple, belongs to 6th century, late 6th century, when this peat or the plinth of the temple is built with these moldings, this molded plinth, it emerged during that period. And it seems actually the Buddhist also uh, adopted that kind of architecture, and they encased the dome within this plinth, molded plinth, and raised the height of the stupa. That is here. You can see this is up to here. It was very simple. This one you can see these are the three square, diminishing square. It is going in step fashion, and then this was the topped by this dome. And around the late actually 6th 7th century, they actually renovated it. By the time I think the lower level was under the ground, and they actually raised the height of the dome by putting this plinth here. That is the how architecture. This actually confirm actually this is happening around 6th century all over India, even in other area. In you go to North India, in Central India or Eastern India, you will find this kind of element emerging that time. And then these are the another antiquity from there. We have got the Maitraka coin with the bull, it three arch hill, it trident, and then this is a replica of the stupa. This is a variety of stoop. I have not seen anywhere, but it has got these facets. You can see this different facet, that where from this kind of stupa comes, that is another question still to be searched. And then these are the all religious things available from stupa. Actually, earlier we were thinking how it can be Buddhist, till we get the antiquity of that the Buddha or the Buddhist religion associated with the Buddhism. These are the actually, this is a tale, Buddha tale, where the Buddha is receiving honey from one monkey. That this actually happened before the Mahaparinirvana of Buddha in Vaisali. I think it is in the recorded in the Buddhist literature that it happens. That is depicted here in a small toiletry, and this is the local sandstone, this schist stone, and then again there is a hand of the, this is Singh Karna Mudra, the Hast Mudra Singh Karna. This looks like a the ear of a lion, and this belongs to some Bodhisattva image. I think only this much we found, and then again a head of Buddha, and this is broken, and on the back of the head we have got this Bodhi tree. So these are actually a very concrete evidence of this monastery being of a Buddhist. Then we have got these the inscription on the pottery. This is a begging bowl of belonging to some monks who were actually going for in search of alms. And then this is the Dham. There is a Divakarasya. Then there is Buddhalayasya, and there is Sakrasya. So these are the name inscribed on these pots. Now they belonging to these monks. So that is another indication. The practice of Buddhism, what is happening, how they are actually getting food and clothes and all these things. That is all available in literature. But and these are the other sealings from the Vadnagar, which gives very different names are there. And this is Nag Dasya, then Sri Swati, and so on. So these are all auspicious things, maybe a token or offer by the devotee to the Chaitya, the Bihar or the stupa. You can see the footprint of the monk, and they are actually, this is happening in the monastery. People are getting all this clay, and then they are getting impression of the seal, and then they are offering to the stupa. They are worshipping the stupa. That was the practicing in ancient India. And then these are the name we got from these impression. These are the Buddhalasya, Chand, Divakar, Dham, Ishwar Gunasya, Meshan, Vasthu, Sri Latasya, Sri Singasya, Svalasya, Swatinit, like that. These are the different name actually we get from those sealings. And this is the actually Vadnagar connection to the world, the outside India. These are the pottery which comes from Mesopotamia. We call it actually torpedo jar. It is actually there is a paste of bitumen inside. This is the uh, bitumen paste applied there to make it impervious. Actually, this was for the export of the liquid, maybe the olive oil or the wine or the other sort of thing. They came from that region or all along the Gujarat coast. There are sites where we found it, even in Maharashtra. And this was the one of, along with the amphore, this was the another pottery. It has got a pointed base which was fixed in the socket in the boat or the ship, and then on the top there was a narrow neck and the this kind of handle, And there are a lot of sites in Gujarat. And this is another also a glazed ware from the same region, Mesopotamia region. And you can see this mostly Gandharan elements, the acanthus leaf, and then a head here. We have got this Gandhara head of sandstone, and then some Roman influence in this token. You can see amulet sort of thing, and these conjoined like of the Kushan period images. So these indicate actually this Vadnagar has there was the visitor from the different part of the contemporary world. And then near Vadnagar, it is just north of Vadnagar, we come to the Taranga Hill. Taranga Hill is one of a single unit of the Aravalli, having so many peaks. And there is actually at present a large temple, Jain temple, Ajitnath temple of the 12th century, built by the Kumarpal. And there is a fortification which we actually documented in 2010 only. And inside that there are so many ancient areas. And then outside there is a Buddhist establishment on the three peak of the hill and its foothills. This is very interesting site. uh, Only some images from here were reported before we did some survey in 2009. And there are different, this whole area is under the Jain religious practice of the both Svetambar and Digambar at present. But there are so many elements of early period. And outside the Buddhists are there, but nobody knows they are the Buddhist thing. These are the actually the walls of the Taranga, which is very beautiful area, and a lot of people are visiting there. This thing, and this was the fortification, and this was the old route. Actually, now the national highway goes this way in this north of this, but this was the old actually Karma route, and there were the thing. And these are the peaks actually where we have got lot of shelters. So many rock shelters are natural shelters which were modified by the people or the most of the Buddhist, and they actually occupied them for their tapasya or their meditation and these things. So you can see these are the platform they created. This is a large platform. There is another one here. Even this Buddhist or the Taran Mata temple is also built on such a platform. And there are a lot of the what these rock shelters. You can go inside and see them. This is a very mysterious place, and you can feel some that kind of feeling is there. You are somewhere in a mysterious world here. You can see this. These are the actually ancient creation. These roots. It is very difficult to reach here actually only, and you require a guide to reach there. And there is a large boulder, uh, a shelter, and you can see the four Dhyani Buddha underneath this, inside that shelter. And from this shelter you can reach here from the narrow cracks between these boulders. So this is the interesting aspect, and these were known like this Tara. The Tara actually Taranga owes its name from the Tara. The Tara is the actually the goddess, Buddhist goddess, a powerful uh, goddess, and it actually this belongs to 10th 11th century sea, made of the marble, because the I think that nearby Taranga in Aravali also known for the marble also, that actually now that became attraction in the 11th century, the this exploitation of the marble for the construction for the idol, that started around 10th 11th century in Gujarat. And that's why a lot of people occupied this Aravalli hills for the extraction or the mining of the marble for the idol and for the construction of temple. And these are the this is again, you can see this is rock shelter, not a temple. Inside the rock shelter you have got again a Tara image, and these are the Buddha, which goes actually contemporary to the Sharnath. They are actually considered to be the contemporary or just post Sarnath period. That means 7th to 9th century evidence were available there in the but and then this is the mandapa built by the Solanki ruler. And there is a story how actually the Buddhism, the site was taken over by the Jain in 12th century. There is a Jain monk who converted the king into the Jainism, and then the king actually built a temple for their goddess. That kind of thing, that chronology there, you can find out your answer in the literature, that what happened at Taranga, how actually the area was abandoned by Buddhist, and how actually it was taken over another set of the people of the different religion. And nowadays it is actually worshipped by both Jain and Hindu, but they don't know these are the Buddhist goddess or gods, but they just put they are their devta of the local region. These are the rock shelter I am talking about. Is this? These are the rock shelters, and there was a stupa here we noticed in 2009, and these are the actually there are so many votive stupa here. Later on, ASI excavated and found those here, and you can see this rock shelter. This is the rock shelter under this boulder, and a small platform is created by those people just for their activity. This is actually because it's a hill slope. You require some activity area, so that is there. It is a, and then this is the perennial source of water. The small rivulet here, there is a kund here, and then this is actually river. They constructed a dam here across the river, and they raised some embankment both side of the on the both bank of the river, and that was burned or dammed here, and then they got the water from. That is one of the evidence of the water harvesting in Gujarat by the Buddhist. There are evidence in Junagadh also, and in Sanchi area of the Madhya Pradesh. That was the how Buddhists were actually helping the local also by putting all these kind of water bodies and harvesting water. And these are again another shelters. There are so many, 65 or so have been counted, and still many remaining. And these are actually when 2009 I found the terracotta Buddha. And these Buddha actually just pushed back the chronology of Taranga. They were actually like the Dev Memori is another side in the eastern Gujarat, northeastern Gujarat. They are dated to 4th century CE. That means Taranga's history also goes that much back. So that led us to the discovery of all these rock shelters and all those things in Taranga. And then it was excavated in 2018 by ASI. You can see these are the remains coming up from those terraces which I showed you earlier. These are the terrace. It was excavated, and then there is a large hall found there, maybe prayer hall, and these small stupas. This was the Archaeological Survey of India did in 2018. Then you can see there is the stupa here, same stupa here, and these are those terraces, artificial terraces in front of the rock shelters. There are so many rock shelters in this area, and there is a bund here in the along the river, and you can see this belongs the stone architecture belongs to the earlier period, and then it is actually the a camouflaged or a screen wall of brick is provided later on. This one that also show two different phase of construction, and similarly is here. You can see the old one here at the base, and then you have got the brick page. That I consider it can be compared with the Rajgriha of the Vihar. That we have got a huge wall, and then there is the lot of the area occupied by the people in Rajgriha. And similarly in Gujarat, we have got this Taranga, which can be a contemporary of the Rajgriha, because if it was Anarpur, I believe this was the Anarpur area, and where the Krishna used to actually stay. In Mahabharata, there is a description actually he used to live take rest there sometime. And the Anarth was also known for the warriors. A warrior class was living in that area, and they took part in the Mahabharata also. And the since there is a story of this Jarasandha and the Krishna actually came to Gujarat from the Mathura because of the Jarasandha. There may be some truth actually, and we can correlate both of them. These are the stupa later on excavated. You can find this. This stupa is there. This is good site for tourism development, I think. But proper development should be actually carried out. Then only it will help the people to understand the area. And these are the actually all the archaeological material we recover from the Taranga region, and that it established actually it goes back to third, fourth century CE. And this all type of pottery we have got in Vadnagar also. And then this is very interesting manuscript actually in Nepalese manuscript in Cambridge, and another is there in I think in Baroda Museum. These manuscript, these are the all Tara depiction of Tara. They belongs to actually this these are the actually 10,015. These 1015. These are actually the Taranath collection, I think, and then it reached to the Cambridge and is still there in the library of the Cambridge University. And according to scholars, actually, they depict the Taranga hills because these boulders, these rocky out background, it indicates actually they belongs to the Taranga hill because this was the Tarapur was very famous due to Tara and her powers. And this is another from there, the same Tara, but there are another name of Tara actually. There is a Tara, Kurkula, Chunda, like that. So there are the depiction of that. But this is very interesting actually that it was so well known in the actually medieval period, this region. And then there are scholars actually who believe that there is a third miniature. The same manuscript provides evidence for the influence of the Buddhist art of Gujarat on the art of Greater Kashmir, especially in Tabu. Actually, the roof of the ceiling of the Tabu monastery, the cloth applied for the decoration, that was actually printed in Gujarat. That is the belief of the scholars. That way, and this is the last image from Rani Ki Vav, North Gujarat, one of the World Heritage Site. And you can see the Buddha. Buddha is this Sangati and all this, the Padma, all these things. And this image is dated to after 1064 CE because the Bhav was built after that. And it depicts a Buddha in the Dasavatara gallery as one of the incarnation Vishnu. It indicates actually this is the time that is the late 11th century that Buddhism in Gujarat started declining, and finally it actually completely actually disappeared maybe in the 12th century CE or mid 12th century CE. That gives the complete history of the Buddhism in Gujarat, and it can be applied actually in for the other side in the Saurashtra region or in South Gujarat. But Taranga seems to be the last bastion of Buddhist in Gujarat. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Thank you, Yadvi. Thank you, Yadvi. It's been actually, I was so fascinated. I had started researching on the side, reading about the area. So
Yeah.
I don't know about all of you, but I am
Thank you.
heading out to Vadnagar really, really soon after Yadvi's, amazing, amazing input. Yadvir, as you
जी.
were narrating all this, तो मेरे mind में जो चीजें चल रही थी, I just want to share with you, with
जी.
everybody else who's listening here. मुझे ऐसी एक अजीब सी फीलिंग आई कि हम
जी.
जो यहाँ रहते हैं हमारे देश में कितने लेयर्स हैं हमारी लाइफ में
जी. जी.
का हमें पता भी नहीं है और हम आज 21वीं सदी में एक प्रोडक्ट है इतने
जी.
सारे फिलोसॉफिकल एंड वे ऑफ लाइफ के प्रोडक्ट्स
जी.
हैं सब और उससे एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग जो मुझे फीलिंग हुई, आई डोंट नो लिसनर्स मेरे साथ शेयर करेंगे ये फीलिंग कि ऐसे फीलिंग इतनी एक कॉन्टिन्यूटी की कि हम यहाँ पे हज़ारों साल से
जी,
हैं। वी मे बी बोर्न 40 इयर्स और 50 इयर्स और 10
जी,
इयर्स, 80 इयर्स बैक, तो हमारा अपना एक लाइफ स्पैन तो उतना ही है इंसान का। परंतु कितनी कॉन्टिन्यूटी है और
जी,
जहाँ भी आज हम सब बैठे हैं, जहाँ से भी हम सुन रहे हैं, तो एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग फीलिंग आई कि हमारे नीचे इस वक़्त
जी,
ज़मीन के नीचे कितनी हिस्ट्री है।
जी, जी,
आई थिंक इट इज़ सो fascinating. तो जस्ट मेरे मन में थोड़े से क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क
जी,
यू, especially from the because you worked with the Archaeological Survey of India for such a long
जी,
time that uh, ये पहले जब शुरू करते हैं आप एक्सकवेशन का काम,
जी,
उस वक़्त तो नहीं पता होता है कि क्या मिलेगा नीचे।
जी।
किस भावना से शुरू करते हैं?
ये मैम एक्चुअली क्या है कि देखिए हम हमारे पास एक बैकग्राउंड होता है जो या तो एक्सप्लोरेशन से होता है कि एक्सप्लोर करते हैं जो पॉटरी मिलती है उसके बेस पे हम कह सकते हैं भाई ये पॉटरी इतनी पुरानी है। सपोज हड़प्पा काल की है या अर्ली हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड की है या जो एनबीपी का है या दूसरा अलग 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 टर्म है इनके लिए। तो जो डिफरेंट वैरायटी ऑफ पॉटरी है और उसके साथ जो मटेरियल मिलता है उसके बेस पे हमें ये पता चल जाता है ये किस पीरियड का है, प्रोटो हिस्टोरिक है या का चालकृतिक है या अर्ली हिस्टोरिकल का है या आयरन एज का है या मिडेवल है। तो वो सब लेके हम ये नहीं जानते कि क्या मिलने वाला है। तो इट इज़ बाय चांस, बाय लक एक्चुअली। ये मोनास्ट्री भी
हुँ,
देखिए आप कितना कोइंसिडेंस है कि
हुँ,
बड़नगर में अंदर कहीं भी कोई भी जगह मतलब लोग ऑक्युपाइड है, लोगों के प्राइवेट मकान है, प्राइवेट
हुँ,
ज़मीन है।
हुँ,
लकीली यही प्लॉट जो है सरकारी प्लॉट था
हुँ।
इन
ये
होल
कुदरत
ऑफ
का
द।
करिश्मा है ना?
हाँ, और वो एक टैबू भी होता है कि
हुँ,
ये साइट 8th सेंचुरी के बाद किसी ने ऑक्युपाई नहीं की, लोगों ने उसके ऊपर मकान नहीं बनाया, जबकि पूरा बड़नगर पूरा कवर्ड है मकानों से। तो वो मुझे लगता है कि लोगों के दिमाग में कहीं न कहीं था कि यहाँ पर कोई रिलीजियस स्ट्रक्चर
हुँ।
रहा
तो
होगा
कहीं न
कहीं।
कहीं
तो हम
इतिहास
इस जी,
हमारे साथ
जी।
चल रहा
इत
होता है ना इसका
चल रहा होता है, हाँ, बिल्कुल। और उसी के कारण हमको मोनास्ट्री मिल पाई, अदरवाइज़ तो
हुँ,
बहुत थे मतलब जो है कि
हुँ।
डिफ़िकल्ट, इट वाज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट
बाय
टू।
वर्ड ऑफ माउथ जो कहा
जी।
जाता है कि कई
जी,
चीज़ों
जी।
का लॉजिक हम नहीं दे पाते आने वाली
हाँ।
पीढ़ियों को, लेकिन वो बात चल रही होती है कि नहीं-नहीं यहाँ नहीं
बिल्कुल,
बनाना,
जी।
चाहे वो
और
किसी भी
आज
वजह
हमने
से किया
वो
जाता है।
मोनास्ट्री को पूरा प्रिज़र्व कर दिया है, ऊपर शेड
हाँ,
डाल दिया है, टूरिज़्म ने पूरे उसके जो जो कल्चरल टेक्स्ट प्रोवाइड कर दिया है, जो भी मतलब फ़ोटोग्राफ सारे, तो दोनों का मिलके अच्छा काम हो गया वहाँ पर। जी,
बहुत अच्छा।
जी,
इनफैक्ट on this episode where we are talking about the Buddhist footprint
जी,
in an area where normally none of us would have thought Buddhism to be
जी,
there, I want to share with the viewers that with the efforts of ASI and Government of India, Buddhism Home in Srinagar was another place that I discovered. I mean, one wouldn't associate Buddhism with
हुँ,
that part of our country also. But just out of Srinagar is this amazing site of Burza home where it is said that या अदबीर आप ज़्यादा बता पाएँगे which
जी,
century, but बहुत पहले, मतलब 1500 साल से तो
जी,
ज़्यादा
जी,
की बात हो रही है। There was
हाँ,
apparently a world conference of Buddhist monks. So when
हाँ,
today the world is talking of world conferences, imagine
जी,
के in India, we were hosting a global world conference of Buddhist monks at that point in time. You know,
जी,
it is so fascinating history. To think that here in our land, which we today call incredible India, कितनी सारी ट्रेडिशंस, कितनी सारी ह्यूमन थॉट, कितनी सारी ह्यूमन लाइफ के लेयर्स एंड लेयर्स हैं। अजय तो
जी,
वाराणसी से बात करते हैं और बैठे भी हैं वहाँ पे, and Varanasi, the oldest living city of the world. And
जी,
probably with all the efforts that all of you are doing, maybe we'll discover something more about Vadnagar also. But before I pass on the screen to Suman and Ajay, because I'm sure they also have some questions, I just want to say one thing to all of you who are listening or who will listen to it even as a recording, that when we started Dekho Apna Desh, the idea that came to all of us, because suddenly COVID, physical kuch ho nahi sakta tha, where we got our inspiration from. And I'm reminded why, because we are talking Vadnagar, and Vadnagar, we know that in today why we remember Vadnagar so fondly as Indians is that our Honorable Prime Minister's birthplace is Vadnagar.
Mm.
Dekho Apna Desh itself came as an inspiration from his speech on the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th August 2019, when he, kind of pushed all of us Indians that कम से कम 2022 तक क्या हम सब ये प्रण ले सकते हैं कि हम भारत के अंदर 15 जगहें घूमने जाएँगे? हम अपने देश को सराह सकते हैं, उसके इतिहास को, उसके कल्चर को, उसकी बड़ी सारी और इतनी सुंदर जो चीज़ें हैं देश में, उनको देखने के लिए निकलें। और उसी से इंस्पायर हुआ था देखो अपना देश। ये नहीं पता था वो क्या शेप लेगा, आपकी आर्कियोलॉजिकल
Yeah.
एक्सकवेशन की तरह चल पड़े और नहीं पता था किधर जाएगा ये रास्ता, पर आज इतने सुंदर मोड़
Yeah.
पे है ये रास्ता। 172 एपिसोड आज खत्म होंगे एंड मैं दोबारा अपने सारे व्यूअर्स को, आप जैसे लोगों को जो आके प्रेज़ेंट करते हैं इस प्लेटफ़ॉर्म पे, सुमन, अजय, मौतोशी और बहुत सारे लोग एनईजीडी से जो सब जुड़े हुए हैं, उनका बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद भी करना चाहती हूँ कि इस पूरे एक इनिशिएटिव को रूप देना और फिर उस रूप को आगे तक लेकर जाना, ये सबकी सराहना
Mm.
करना आवश्यक है इस मोड़ पे। So at this point, I'm going to ask Suman. Suman, I'm sure you have some questions. Dr. Ajay, you might have some questions. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yaduvir ji, I have a question. Actually, in the perspective of tourist, how the tourist can reach this
Yeah.
Vadnagar? Accessibility.
Actually, for Vadnagar, you can access from Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is linked with all major city of India, I think. And from Ahmedabad, you can go by road to Vadnagar.
How much
And Vadnagar
kilometers
has
is?
got, it is actually from Ahmedabad 100 kilometer.
Yeah, and it is connected through rail also, that we know
It,
actually.
yeah, rail is also, but the road is travel is fast. I think it will take
Yeah, yeah,
1.5 hour from the airport, and
yeah,
the roads are good in Ahmedabad, within Gujarat, and then Vadnagar there is actually tourism Toran restaurants is there. All facilities are available there, and the local actually guest house are also available there.
yeah. So
Yes,
actually, when the I am saying about the tourist, when they plan the Gujarat tour, they
yeah,
must include Vadnagar as at least 1 day itinerary.
yeah,
And I think this is going to be a very fascinating journey to visit Gujarat and visit Vadnagar, and all we know all this importance of this place now, the place of Buddha, and also the birthplace of our honorable Prime Minister.
yeah.
So with that we
Thank you.
thank
Thank
Y- Yadvinder, Yadvir ji and Rupinder ma'am for this special episode, and having you with us today, and remembering this all journey we have gone through of Deko Apna Desh, and all our team. Actually, we will trouble you in future also to come with us whenever you get time.
It's a
So,
pleasure. It's a pleasure,
yes,
Suman. This is
yes,
not work. This
yes,
is, I think आप सबको पता ही है my thought on this. I think this is that little contribution that each of us as Indians,
you.
from wherever we are, a little bit that we can do towards showcasing our beautiful country, not just to the world outside of India, but within India. इतना बड़ा है ना देश कि हम जहाँ
Yeah,
पे
yeah,
हमारा अपना जन्म होता है या जहाँ हम जाते हैं, उसके अलावा इतना है देखने के लिए for us as Indians ourselves, and that's being reflected. I'm sure, Suman, you have the figures in a huge increase in domestic tourism in the
yes,
last
yes,
2.5, 3 years. And despite COVID, our people have shown so much tenacity of visiting such unknown, hitherto unvisited areas, of course, for which a lot of credit needs to be given to the strong initiative taken by the government in terms of adding connectivity. Look at flight connections, look at road connections, look at Vande Bharat trains, and so much train connectivity that has happened today. It is letting each of us as Indians travel. So once again, I am going to, always say that, and it became like my tagline, कि देखिए और दिखाइए अपना सुंदर अतुल्य भारत.
yeah,
So, so that is our dream that every Indian, 15 तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहे, पर मेरे ख्याल में कोई ज्यादा बड़ा लक्ष्य नहीं है 15. इनफैक्ट अब जब दुनिया खुल चुकी है, वी आर थैंकफुली आउट ऑफ कोविड, अगर चलकर 15 को तो हम कहेंगे अरे सिर्फ 15, बहुत और देखेंगे। उन्होंने तो सिर्फ हमें एक सोच दी, एक मार्ग दिया, एक जस्ट एक थोड़ा-सा एक भाव क्रिएट किया है सबके अंदर के अपने बाहर देखिए, ज़रूर जाइए, दुनिया भी देखिए बिकॉज़ दुनिया देखते हैं तो कहते हैं ना अपना घर ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, तो इसलिए बाहर ज़रूर जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि फिर अपने घर की याद ज़्यादा आती है इंसान
जी
को। तो इसलिए
डोमेस्ट
है ना?
डोमेस्टिक टूरिज्म तो इतना बूम कर गया कि बनारस में हम लोगों को टेंट सिटी बनानी पड़ी गंगा के उस पार।
कितनी
हाँ जी
ये कानों के लिए कितनी अच्छी बात है और पर्यटन मंत्रालय के लिए तो है ही, पर
जी जी।
देश के लिए कितनी अच्छी बात है कि लोग अलग-अलग पहलू जो हमारे देश के हैं, उनको देखने के लिए कहाँ-कहाँ जा रहे हैं। इसलिए ये सपना साकार करने में देखो अपना देश का जो एक रोल है, उसकी उसकी बहुत महत्वता है और मेरी बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएँ और मेरी अपनी इच्छा ये है कि हम इस प्रयास को, जो छोटा-सा एक प्रयास शुरू हुआ था, उसको बीच में ना छोड़ें और उसको बल्कि उसको और अलग किस्म का रूप दें, उसमें और क्रिएटिविटी लाएँ ताकि कभी भी किसी को ये कमी ना हो सोचने में कि ओह! अब मैं कहाँ जाऊँ? तो क्योंकि हमारे देश में ये स्थिति आनी ही नहीं चाहिए कभी।
जी
हर एक के हिसाब से चीज़ें हैं, पहाड़ हैं, नदियाँ हैं, जंगल हैं। और अगर हम आर्ट्स एंड क्राफ्ट्स और म्यूज़िक और वैसे ट्रेडिशंस में जाने लग जाएँ, फिर तो कोई अंत ही नहीं है। ट्राइबल फॉर्म्स ले लें, ब्लू फ्लैग सर्टिफ़िकेशन वाली बीचेज़ ले लें, मतलब अभी लॉन्गेस्ट क्रूज़ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इनॉग्रेट की, तो कितना कुछ हो रहा है देश में और उस सब का हम सबको मिलकर न सिर्फ़ खुद जाना भी चाहिए, पर उसका प्रचार करना कितना आवश्यक है। हम सबका
जी
ये फ़र्ज़ बनता है मेरे विचार में कि हम अपने देश की जितनी बात कर पाएँ, अलग-अलग फ़ोरम्स पे, शायद उतनी ही कम होगी। तो अजय आप और कुछ कहना चाहते हैं? सुमन एनीथिंग एल्स? नहीं तो फिर
मैं स्पेशली सुमन जी से कहना चाह रहा हूं क्योंकि सुमन जी अभी मिनिस्ट्री में बैठे हुए हैं और एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन भी हैं। वाडनगर को जितना फोकस मिलना चाहिए उतना मिला नहीं वाडनगर को। वाडनगर को जिस तरह से यदविंदर सिंह जी ने हम लोगों को दिखाया और इतनी प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वहां पे, तो ये सारी चीजें हमको अंतरराष्ट्रीय पटल पे लाना होगा, इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाना होगा। जो हमारे स्पेशली बुद्धिस्ट कंट्रीज हैं, साउथ इंडियन कंट्रीज है, जहां से स्पेशली इतने सारे बुद्धिस्ट आते हैं, इनको भी हम उस तरफ मोल्ड कर सकते हैं। ये सब हिडन
जी
ट्रेजर है बुद्धिज्म में, इस पे थोड़ा सा फोकस हम लोगों को करना होगा।
जरूर
जी
जरूर अजय जी, करेंगे हम लोग। और इस पे हम रीजनल ऑफिस के थ्रू भी यहाँ पे इवेंट्स कराएंगे और हो सकता है हम लोग कोई बड़ा कॉन्फ्रेंस वगैरह भी यहाँ पे प्लान करें, तो जरूर हम लोग के प्लान में
जी
रहेगा। तो
तो चलिए फिर आज का मेरे ख्याल में हम थोड़ा समय एज़ ऑलवेज़ क्रॉस करते ही हैं और बहुत दिल से करते हैं हमेशा समय क्रॉस। तो अब हम आज के एपिसोड के एंड पर आ रहे हैं, तो आज की ज़िम्मेदारी क्योंकि मैंने ली है, तो यदवीर सिंह जी आपका बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू मैडम थैंक
एनी जीडी आप सबका धन्यवाद और डॉक्टर अजय, सुमन, मौतोशी और सब लोग जो जुड़े इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को आप सब तक लाने के लिए। और सबसे ज़्यादा श्रेय जाता है हमारे लिसनर्स को क्योंकि आप सुनते हैं, आप लॉग इन
यू जी
करते हैं, तो पूरी टीम को बहुत प्रोत्साहन मिलता है आगे नेक्स्ट एपिसोड को दिखाने के लिए। एक्साइटमेंट रहती है हमारी टीम में भी कि अब क्या लाएँ आप सबके लिए। तो इसलिए बने रहिए, जुड़े रहिए और देखते रहिए हमारे साथ आपका और हमारा सुंदर अतुल्य भारत। दोबारा नए एपिसोड के साथ अगले शनिवार सैटरडे 11 एएम मत भूलिएगा लॉग इन करना to our
जी
episodes, the 173rd episode coming up next Saturday of देखो अपना देश। नमस्कार।
थैंक यू
थैंक यू मैम।
थैंक यू